Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a morning confrontation near Vanderbilt leads to one person getting shot. Gunfire inside a North Texas mall sends 2 people to a hospital Thursday night. The number of those arrested this afternoon. And an Amazon delivery driver claims she was attacked while making a delivery in Houston.
Another chilly one, night and morning that is, until we warm up for the weekend. We'll talk all about that and more coming up.
Plus, some local experts remind us about fireworks safety ahead of New Year's Eve celebrations in Victoria. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the day off. This morning, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office responded to a man who's carrying a rifle in Vanderbilt. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick has an update on the situation. Darius, we heard the man fired shots at officers when they arrived.
That's right, he did, Don. The sheriff's office say Martin Lugo Jr. fired several shots at deputies who responded to the call in Vanderbilt today. Authorities say Lugo was intoxicated and carrying a rifle near Karunkoa Street. After he shot at deputies, they returned fire and hit Lugo twice. Emergency workers stabilized Lugo on the scene. The throw suspect was taken to a Houston hospital by medical helicopter. The sheriff says this appears to be an isolated incident. However, the Texas Rangers are also investigating this deputy-involved shooting. Don, back to you.
Darius, thank you. And now let's take a first look at your First Warn Storm Team forecast. In for Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez, meteorologist Howie Gordon joined us with a look at what's going on outside. Another great day in a series of great weather days this week.
Yeah, we couldn't have signed up for better weather here. I agree with you completely here in the Crossroads. The only caveat is, okay, at night, morning, a little chilly, but I've been sleeping, so I haven't been out there. So another cool night upon us. But after that, after tonight, overnight, we're going to warm up for the weekend. Now, it might be just a brief cup of coffee, but we're going to have warmer weather for the weekend. And then we're going to, next year, potentially see some showers. Okay, let's go. We're moving here. Got stuck on me a little bit. Look at that warm weather. But we're also going to see a few breezy days when that boundary comes through a couple days from now. And we're going to talk more about that coming up in just a bit, Don.
All right, Howie, thank you. Fireworks are a staple for any New Year's Eve celebration. But a recent study shows 11 Americans died and 10,200 others were taken to ERs, emergency rooms, because of fireworks in 2022. Those numbers from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. The newest member to our news team, 25 News Now reporter Lupe Zabata, has some safety tips.
This fireworks stand just a mile outside of Victoria city limits will soon be empty because of New Year's festivities. I spoke with 2 fireworks stand operators who tell me that safety is often something that's overlooked.
Of course, the sparklers look innocent, and they are if you handle them correctly. But incorrectly or in the wrong hands, they can become dangerous. A lot of people will hand them to their very young children without thinking that that is sparks, that is fire, and a lot of children get burned.
As the operator of Firework Frenzy a few miles from downtown Victoria, Michelle Williams has a lot of stories about local firework injuries. Just last year, fireworks landed her daughter in the emergency room.
An ember came down and, because she was looking up, of course, landed in her eye, which landed her in the emergency room and had burnt part of the cornea. So it's very dangerous.
Michelle urges an important safety tip to remember is being aware of what she calls dud fireworks not lighting correctly, especially the popular artillery shells.
You should not try to relight them. That means there is something malfunctioning in the firework itself, and it then becomes dangerous. You should immediately pour water on it, throw it in a bucket of water, something, but do not relight it.
Up the road, John Hilliard, owner of Fireworks Attic, says the item he sells out of first are Roman candles. He warns children should not be using these type of fireworks, especially since they rank top 5 for most dangerous in a recent study by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
You just got to be very careful with them, because if you don't do them correctly, then they could actually, the balls could put somebody's eye out or could start a fire or something like that. So you never hold it or point it at anybody, you just point it away.
I met with Marshall Frazier, Assistant Fire Marshal for Victoria County, as he inspected some of the 22 fireworks stands in the county. He wants to remind people if you live in city limits and want to enjoy popping fireworks, the county has the option of Patriot Park, also known as Saxett Lakes. There you can light fireworks in a safe, supervised area, but only on New Year's Eve.
And all they have to do is clean up after themselves, and we have the fire department on scene to if anything gets out of control.
And wherever you ring in the new year with a bang, according to Michelle, the most important thing to remember when it comes to fireworks is distance.
Back up far away from it. And wait till you know that the firework is completely done before walking back up towards it.
Michelle tells me although these sparklers might seem innocent, it's just not worth it to light in city limits. If caught, you could get a citation of up to $2,000. I'm Lupe Zapata reporting for the first time in my hometown for 25 News Now.
Lupe, thank you. And as he mentioned, you can take your fireworks and shoot them off at Patriot Park on New Year's Eve. The Victoria County Fire Department tells us it will be open for fireworks from 5 p.m. to midnight on Sunday. They will have at least 2 brush trucks on hand and trash bags will be available. Here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. Here's the question. Do you plan to use fireworks this holiday weekend? Yes, no, or you're not sure yet? We want to hear your opinion. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and I'll have an update on 25 News Now at 6. We've introduced you to 5 of the 6 Victoria mayoral candidates. This afternoon we have the final candidate, Bob Constantine, who wants to serve the city of Victoria as mayor. 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel has more. Adam?
Thanks, Don. That's right. So we have Mr. Robert Bob Constantine here in studio right now. So thank you for joining us,
You're
sir.
welcome, Adam.
So my first question for you is, what in your past work history and experiences make you the most qualified candidate for Victoria Mayor?
Well, I feel that I'd be the most qualified because I have been a president and a CEO of a company. I'm also the COO of a company now. And we've taken companies and taken them from X amount of dollars to be very profitable. I believe that I can go ahead and make some cuts with the city, with the other council members, is to go ahead and make some cuts where we need to, and to go ahead and to cut the taxpayers' cost. There's some other items that I feel that we could do where we could actually turn events into a money-making profit for the city, where it would not cost the taxpayers any money to put on these events.
All right, and so my next question for you, sir, would be, some people say our city streets needs work. Many neighborhoods, they say, have too many potholes. Any ideas on that or comments for that?
There are a lot of potholes, so there is a lot of work that needs to be done. I do give our city the credit, though, for what we've done so far. They've got a plan, and I know most people don't see the plan, but if you'd spend some time at the council meetings, you'd see that the city has a plan where they're going to go ahead and tear up so many roads. Like, I think there's 10 roads that's going to be torn up, and they're going to go ahead and put new sewer lines, new water drainage, new water lines in, and then go back and rebuild the streets so that we don't have to tear apart these streets every year, or we don't have potholes. We can go ahead and do a permanent fix on those streets. Look at Crestwood, what the job they did. It took some while, but that is a very nice road now. And I think that, like, they're down at the south end of town here, our roads down there are really bad right now, being torn up because of all the construction down there with TxDOT. I believe we as a city should go ahead and hold TxDOT responsible for that and make them go ahead and fix those streets back up.
And then with that, growth and development, how would you plan to address Victoria's growth and development moving forward?
I want to see more businesses come here. I want to see us, if we have to give abatements, the way I've always looked at business is you take the short-term loss for the long-term gain. And if you have to give an abatement for a longer time, give an abatement for a longer time. But once that abatement's over and done with, then you get all the revenue that comes in. That would help us bring people into Victoria. It would bring construction into Victoria. We would have a housing market start up here in Victoria again. People spend money. If you're making money out there, you're spending money, okay, with local businesses here in town. That's what we want to see. Okay?
All right. Well, that's all we've got time for today. We really appreciate you taking time to talk with us today, Mr. Robert Bob Constantine.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Mr. Constantine. 4 people have been arrested after 2 people were hurt in a shooting at an Arlington mall Thursday night. Police responded to reports of a shooting around 7:30 p.m. They say 2 groups of people got into a verbal argument and it escalated into gunfire. One teenager involved had been hit by a bullet along with a 38-year-old bystander who had been hit in the leg. Both went to the hospital in non-life-threatening conditions.
I heard like one loud bang and I thought, okay, like that sounds weird. And then I heard another one like a couple seconds after. And then I saw people running. And so we had 2 customers in the store. And so we were like, let's just go in the back. And so we saw people running and coming into our store seeking safety. And so we just grabbed as many people as we could and they were coming to the back room. We had about 20 people at our location, and then I was like shaking. I didn't know what to do. We like closed the shutters, we locked it. There were kids in there too crying, so we were just trying to make sure everyone was safe there.
Today, police announced the arrest of 4 male teens, 2 19-year-olds charged with fighting in public, an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old, both charged with at least 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In Houston, an Amazon delivery driver claims she faced harassment while making a delivery. She even recorded the encounter.
Here, and you're a thief?
That's part of a video captured on December 16th by Amazon delivery driver Jemiah Miller when she went to deliver a package at a residential property called Belmead in River Oaks.
The delivery instructions for this particular suite said deliver to suite. So despite the woman telling me I needed to go to the concierge, I decided that I was just going to finish my job and deliver it to the suite.
Representatives for the property say they're building policies for all packages to be delivered to the concierge. It's something Miller says she wasn't aware of until a resident told her as she was already on the floor of the apartment she needed to deliver to.
If they really thought it was a problem, I feel like they could have contacted security or the concierge himself instead of trying to physically approach me and becoming so aggressive.
No.
Don't touch me. Excuse me. Excuse me, please don't
Miller says she started to grow concerned, so she started recording the interaction on her phone.
I mean, being a black woman in a rich white neighborhood, mostly white neighborhood, I did feel like the people would probably believe those residents, being that they were older white women. Excuse me.
She's attacking me.
Please
she's attacking.
She was saying she's attacking me, but you can clearly see her hitting me as she's saying this. So yeah, in that moment it got a little bit more scary too because I felt like she was going to try to make false claims about me being there.
Miller has filed a police report and her case has now been assigned to an investigator. Belmead property representatives say the actions of third parties do not in any way reflect the values of the property. They say they're cooperating with police. Daniela Hurtado, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Chicago leaders are begging for federal help with the ongoing migrant crisis. This as a group of asylum-seeking immigrants arrived from Texas to Chicago late Thursday by train. The group had been sent by a rogue bus chartered by the state. As the buses continue arriving, some city leaders are calling for federal aid. Nearly 15,000 people staying in 27 shelters across Chicago, with the latest arrival coming one day after the mayor warned the city was reaching capacity. Still, Congress has been unable to reach a consensus on funding border security. The U.S. Department of Justice says they will sue if Texas enforces their new law punishing illegal border crossings. You can read this Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can get Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. New video release shows the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza as the Israel-Hamas war rages on. That's straight ahead on 25 News now at 5. Also ahead, Google has released the top health questions searched in 2023.
Here's a look at Community Crossroads this weekend. We first sit down with 5 of the 6 mayoral candidates for mayor of Victoria. We talk to Josephine Solis, Dwayne Crocker, Carissa Winters, Jacob Salceda, and Peter Brown. We also have some voting information as well and your monthly viewer poll.
Thousands of desperate civilians in the Gaza Strip surrounded a relief aid convoy at a UN center in northern Gaza. The convoy consisted of 2 trucks giving out aid outside a center of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees. In a video released Thursday, people could be seen climbing in desperation to reach aid. Earlier this week, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations expressed deep concerns over the rapidly worsening food security situation. The agency said approximately 2.2 million residents are facing acute hunger. Google has released the top trending health-related questions searched in the U.S. in 2023 from January to November. Turns out it's strep throat. The top search: how long is strep contagious, followed by how contagious is strep throat. Other top searches include how to lower cholesterol and what helps bloating. Google says these questions saw high spikes in traffic over the period compared to the previous year. If you're hoping to be a better version of yourself in the new year, changing unhealthy habits and focusing on new goals are keys to success.
Say goodbye to unhealthy habits and hello to a new mindset for the new year.
It's very easy to focus on the negatives. It oftentimes takes more work to focus on the positives and things that we're thankful for.
Licensed clinical psychologist Adam Borland with Cleveland Clinic says you can reach healthy goals by shifting how you think about yourself.
We're kinder to ourselves. We're using more encouragement and gratitude. That does go a long way in terms of how we approach those sources of stress and those obstacles in our day-to-day life.
To keep that healthier mindset all year, Borland says to practice gratitude, appreciate the good things rather than focus on the bad, and recognize the role of choice. You choose how to respond to stress.
Are they an opportunity for growth, or do we view them as just simply another headache to deal with?
He says to simplify life by monitoring social media use and focusing on self-care, maybe deep breathing or meditation. Prioritize being mindful by doing something that's meaningful to you.
If there's some sort of creative hands-on outlet, whether it's cooking, something creative, some musical outlet, I encourage people to carve out time like that every day.
Finally, be active. It's not only important to physical, but mental health too. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Offshore storms shoved waves toward communities along the California coast Thursday, bringing flooding and road closures. Police urged evacuations in one county amid destructive flooding and high surge. In another city, security video caught the moment a rogue wave crashed into a beach barrier. At least 8 people had to be hospitalized. Despite those warnings, onlookers gathered to watch, and surfers took full advantage of the massive waves. I don't think that's a good idea, Howie.
Yeah, just stay back off those waves for sure, Don. Now, we are looking to warm up for a quick cup of coffee over the weekend because then another cool down. Talk all about it straight ahead. The year is winding down. Here's what we got. So, warmer this weekend, rain next year, and then we cool down next year as well. Let's break all of that down. Here is what we saw today. We saw temperatures in the lower 60s, still a few degrees below average. We were right about 59 and 60 degrees, but we were at 84 degrees back in 1921. But we're going to see some warmer temperatures. They might not last very long, but before we run out of time this year, we're going to see some warmer weather, very similar to last weekend with Christmas Eve, where we were 75 degrees. All right, here's our future temperatures. One more cool down Friday night into Saturday morning. So we'll drop down into the 30s once again. Now, we're starting to see some warm air push out of the Gulf. We might not drop down into those freezing temperatures. Now, the outside chance still away from the water, you could do that, but we are on a warming trend. Look at some of these days now, okay, overnight, but we warm up again back into the 60s and 70s over the weekend. Now, what's going to happen as that boundary gets closer, we're going to see some gusty winds, maybe that 20, 25, maybe even close to some 30, maybe into Sunday and into Monday, we'll start to see these winds pick up as this boundary, which I'm going to show you in a moment, gets closer. Dew points, we are as dry as can be. A couple boundaries actually pushed through the area in the last 24 hours, but nothing because we are so dry. There's just nothing to wring out in terms of rain or any type of precipitation. High pressure still controlling us. What's going to happen, though, some of these highs will start to move off, and what's going to happen is warm air is going to push in from the Gulf. That's going to warm us up over the weekend, but then what happens, colder air dropping down from the north of that boundary, going to allow for the winds to pick up and then cool us down at the same time. And then you see off to the west, we got some storms. Those are headed our way. Those storms could bring us some showers for Tuesday and into Wednesday. So rain for the new year, not January 1st, but after that. All right, 61 degrees for our water temperature. Now, our winds have come down to 10 knots. Maybe we were stirred up and choppy for a number of days. Finally, though, seas 2 feet or less, bays going to remain on the smooth side after days and days of some choppy water out there, out in the Gulf and the bays. So this evening we'll be in the 40s. Clear, not too bad just yet, but still overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning, we have one more of those chilly nights. So 36 degrees, clear and chilly. So the wind's not too bad. That's kind of tolerable, but still, that's very much on the chilly side. Maybe an extra blanket to go to bed, maybe some socks and some slippers, or if you got one of those little portable heaters, plug it in while you're in front of the TV. That's what I do. Looking ahead, though, to tomorrow. Okay, a nice little warm-up, 68 sunny with light winds. I mean, that is picture perfect year-round. I would take that. That's absolutely nice. And looking ahead to the rest of the week. Now, I've been using this analogy over and over. We warm up for the weekend. 74. We were 75 last Christmas Eve day. Here we are, New Year's Eve day, 74 degrees. Then that boundary starts to come in overnight and into the next day. And then what happens? That cooler air moves in, cools us down. We stay on the dry side, but then that storm I showed you moving in from the west that originated in the Baja or in Southern California, that's going to move through. Then we got a chance at seeing some showers before later in the week. Yeah, we kind of stay below average with a mix of some clouds and some sun. So New Year's Eve looking good, a cool down for New Year's Day. CrossroadsToday.com, and that is free with any Android and iPhone. And now that's right, we go back to Don Brubaker.
Howie, thank you. And coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, good news for future home buyers. Mortgage rates are continuing to drop. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow down 31 points, the S&P 500 down 27 points, and the Nasdaq down 119 points. Oil down 48 cents, closing at $71.29 a barrel. Long-term mortgage rates keep falling for the 9th week in a row. Freddie Mac reported a drop in U.S. mortgage rates. 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rates fell to an average 6.61% for the week ending December 28th. That's slightly down from the previous week's 6.67%. The drop over the past 2 months has been partly fueled by the anticipation of Federal Reserve rate cuts expected next year. Stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, a relaxing day by the pool turned scary for one Floridian at a resort. And now here's a look at what's coming up next on World News Tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up, the urgent coastal warning. Waves up to 25 feet in the Rogue Wave. Here in New York and across the U.S., police on high alert for New Year's Eve and the holiday forecast next.
Finally tonight, it was supposed to be a relaxing day by the pool for one Floridian woman until she spotted a 10-foot Burmese python nearby. The invasive snake had ended up in the gated community. The resort homeowner had called 2 wildlife trappers to handle the snake. The freestyling was required, and after nearly getting bit, the 2 men finished the job and caught the snake. Well, better them than me. The only python I ever really liked was Monty. But I tell you what, oh man, look at that. Oh,
he's a big boy, man.
Ooh,
I have a buddy that lives way out there, like in the Everglades, and I'm sure that's a normal occurrence probably in his neighborhood.
That's one neighborhood I don't think I'd like to move into.
Yeah, pretty close.
Normal occurrence. And this weather seems normal every day. Gorgeous weather.
That's why the only reason why you like that community, because it's warm. But yeah, without the pythons and the gators, because what we're getting here in South Texas is beautiful, but just one more chill down overnight, and then we're headed towards some warmer conditions. So 40s this evening, but then we'll still drop down to about 36, possibly a little cooler in some of those outlying areas further away from the water. But here's what we got for tomorrow. Oh, look at that, Don. That's 68 degrees and sunny for the day before New Year's, or the last day of the year. And then looking ahead, we do cool down. Not horrible, but then we got some rain chances for next year. We've been really much, for the most part, on the dry side.
Very good, Howie. Thank you, and thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.